Hello, my name is Dr. Benita Cobb, and I'm the Learning Specialist at the Brodsky Student Athlete Academic Success Center. In this video session, we'll be going over ways that you can fight procrastination. First, let's start off by thinking about what are the reasons that we would procrastinate. It could be that there's just not enough time left. It could be that there's too many distractions around you, or that the instructions are unclear and you're not sure where to start. Maybe there's just too much to do and you don't know where to start, or that you're tired and you don't want to start. Think about all the reasons why you procrastinate, and let's go through this presentation. Think about ways that you can combat your specific reasons with the resources that I'm presenting. Next, let's look at where you're spending most of your time. It can be in one of the 4 quadrants listed here. The first quadrant are activities that are urgent and important. These are things such as crisis, deadlines, and meetings. Things that need to be taken care of right away, and they're very important to your success. The next one are things that are not urgent, but they are important. Planning and empowerment create strategies to help you succeed. By spending time in this section, even though it's not urgent, it can help you succeed overall. The third quadrant are activities that are urgent but not important. Things like emails and interruptions, some meetings that are not planned, and even projects that are ongoing but don't have a deadline. Every time that you're interrupted, you lose your focus. Things in quadrant 3 can be very distracting. And then next we have quadrant 4. These are the things that are not urgent and not important. Things that help you lose focus really fast, and they're going to make you procrastinate. Things such as focusing on trivial matters when you should be focusing on things that are important, such as doing your laundry. Things that distract you from your homework. Make sure that you set aside time to do these trivial matters separately from your homework and your study time. Wasting time on social media or escaping with television shows. Try to spend a little time in the section as possible when you should be doing other things. Where do you think you should spend the majority of your time? Most people are going to say that it's in section 1, and that's a legitimate argument. But actually, if you spend more of your time in section 2, you won't be having to invert all these crises and dealing with these deadlines. If you plan ahead and you use good time management skills, then you're going to be able to create a plan and spend a lot of time doing it in quadrant 2. And that way, you'll be more prepared when the crises and the meetings happen in quadrant 1. Now that we've evaluated where we spend a lot of our time, let's talk about where we find our motivation. Is it internally or externally? Internal reinforcement happens when you find the motivation within yourself. It could be that you're really interested in a class, or maybe you're really determined to pass the class. You can move on with your other coursework, or maybe you'll just make yourself feel really guilty if you're not. But you need to study properly. By finding these internal reinforcements, you're able to study more efficiently and effectively. On the other hand, if you're not able to find that internal reinforcement, then try to find external reinforcement for your studying. This could be that you're with a study group or you use a study buddy. You divide the tasks and responsibilities into smaller sections, and that way you don't have to do the whole thing yourself. People are relying on you, so it holds you accountable. You can schedule a weekly meeting with your professor just to catch up and make sure that you're on task and that you have all the information you need to complete the assignments. Once you find where your reinforcements are, your motivation is going to come. Here are some other tips. The first one is set yourself a short time limit. If you have a large project looming over you and you just can't seem to get yourself started on it, set yourself a time limit of 10 minutes. Just sit down for 10 minutes and get started. You may be surprised to find that it's a lot easier than you thought it was. And then when you finish, you're going to get more done than you thought you would. The next time you have a larger task, divide it up into smaller due dates. And then on the final day, review what you wrote and revise it. Don't wait for perfection. You're never going to have all the materials you need, and you're never going to find that perfect silence or be perfectly mentally ready for it whenever you have to write that long paper. So just get started. Also, when you're procrastinating, a lot of times it's easy to push the harder test off to the end and do the easier test first because it's more rewarding. And you just want to check the easy ones off your list. But honestly, go ahead and do the worst first. Study the hardest material first, and that way it's over and out of the way. By finishing the worst first, you can move on to the easy assignments and end on a good note. Set realistic goals for yourself. Can you really write this 20-page paper in one sitting the night before it's due? Most people can't, and that's okay. Make sure that your realistic goals are actually achievable. If they're not, you should reevaluate them and try to make them more appropriate for the situation that you have on hand. And then find ways to reward yourself. You can't study 24/7. Try to find time for activities that you enjoy. If you like going to the gym or enjoy taking a fitness class, make sure that you leave time for activities that you like. That way, you aren't feeling like you're missing out on the things that others are doing while you're studying. You're going to feel more refreshed when you sit down to focus on your material. Be specific when you're studying and say, I'm only going to study this amount today, and I'm going to review my notes. I'm going to look at my text, or I'm going to look at PowerPoint slides for the chemistry paper. Becoming very specific with your study plan helps you not procrastinate because you know exactly what you're going to do. As I said before, join a study group or get a study buddy who's on the same serious level as you are. You don't want a study buddy who's goofing around when you're getting ready to get down to the grind. For additional resources, we'd love to see you at the Bratsky Student Athlete Academic Success Center. We are here to schedule individual appointments for life skills or whatever your need may be. There are also video resources just like the one you're watching today, and we offer private tutoring for course-specific needs. We hope to see you soon.